Shoop, shoop. What is it? Yeah? Oh, you're so cute. All right. I'm going to record now. Thank you. Let's get into it. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle, and today I'm gonna talk to you guys from the heart. I want to share and express some feelings about how I did last month with this thing called National Novel Writing Month as a way to both express my feelings and share my frustrations with you, but also to help encourage any of you who are working on a hobby and maybe didn't perform as well as you feel like you should have. So with all that being said, without any further ado, let's just dive into the topic because I have got a lot to say. That was probably just more annoying than funny. Like, oh, you did that coffee thing again. Great. Okay. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, I want to make sure that I lay the plate down and make sure that you guys have a solid foundation of what I'm talking about before we get into it, because although I want it to be kind of applicable to a lot of different things, the thing is I'm going to be talking about something that a lot of you may not know. So for those of you who don't, NaNoWriMo stands for National Novel Writing Month, which is the time of year that millions of us from around the world, it could be hundreds of thousands, it's a lot of people from around the world, attempt to write a novel. Now you might be saying, Michelle, you just said National Novel Writing Month. Doesn't that mean American? Actually, it used to start off as American, but it has become international. But NaNoWriMo? That doesn't have the same ring as NaNoWriMo. I'm gonna do NaNoWriMo. Duh. It's international. There's lots of people who do this, and our goal in the month is to write 50,000 words. And so together we bend and we work every single day to write at least 1,667 words to make sure that at the end of the month we end up with 50,000 words. Your girl only got like 40,000, and that's even pushing it. I don't even know how much of that is countable because some of it was rewrites, some of it was stuff for a different thing, and some of it I'm just gonna flat out throw away eventually. But word counts are satisfying, aren't they? Anyway, I digress. Let's talk about what happened for NaNoWriMo. So I'm not sure exactly how ready I am for this conversation, but I wanted to have this conversation. First and foremost, what was I doing for NaNoWriMo? Why was it a struggle for me? Well, I am working on a novel that I have been working on since 2016, and I am now in the 6th iteration of this story. I have written it ad nauseum. I've written it so many times. Okay, so I wrote it originally very long ago in 2016. It feels like a decade ago, but clearly it was only like 4 years ago. I wrote the first draft. And since then, I tried rewriting it again that January. I tried rewriting it again that NaNoWriMo. I tried rewriting it again the next year. And then I did rewrite it last year. And then I've had other iterations since. Even in like March, I tried rewriting it again. And then I scrapped all that, and now I'm writing it again. So we're on like something like what you might call the 6th draft, because I keep overthinking all of the aspects of the story. I am literally overthinking it all. My insecurities are manifold right now because one of the things I want to accomplish with this story is I wanted to have infallible logic, which I know is impossible because I'm terrible at logic, and every time I make a decision for what's going to happen in my story, a little voice goes in the back of my head and is like, what are people going to say about that? What are people on the internet going to say when they read that and it doesn't make sense to them? What are they going to do? And I overthink what other people are going to think about the logical backbone of my story and the plot and how it's all moving. And I keep wondering, is this the right decision? I'll convince myself of something and then I'll unconvince myself of something. So like, for example, one of the elements that I have overthought a lot is the police force and how how many people there are in the police force and how big of a presence it has in this city. And I have gone back and forth between what is logical and what is not. And then I'm like, well, maybe I have the time frame off. Well, maybe I have the number off, or maybe I have the circumstances off, or what else would need to happen in order for this to happen. And I go down these incredibly long, convoluted rabbit holes that I just confuse myself with because I'm trying to appeal to other people's logic with my story. And it's making it to where I overthink absolutely everything. Because my goal with my story is to engage people and have them interested. And I did end up having some people read the first 2 parts, so the first quarter of my story. And if you're one of those people who did actually give me feedback, first of all, thank you so very much. I am so incredibly grateful for the feedback that you gave me. But it also did affect me emotionally, and I can't deny that it affected me emotionally. I can't deny that it's made me now since overthink absolutely every single move, because I do really think that you guys gave solid feedback, and it has overwhelmed me to realize I am not as good of an author as I would like to be. And I've been reading a lot of books this year, which has given me a lot of inspiration for what I do and do not like when it comes to prose and when it comes to overall story flow. And so I have a lot of things going on in my mind about my story that I'm trying to accomplish and that I want to accomplish. And because of the fact that it's a 6th draft, I don't want to have to rewrite ad nauseum. I want to be able to finish it. I want to be done and move on to the next parts, the fun parts. And I want to have a novel that I can hand to people and be like, I wrote this. I want to be able to share my story. But I don't want to share a story that's bad and that's going to change people's perception of me, and people are going to think I'm a terrible writer and they're going to tell me you should give up writing forever like that. Whew, I'm getting emotional. That is a fear. That is scary. Whew, I am... Ooh. Oh, it's hard. You say something out loud and you realize how real it is, and that is real, my friends. I don't want people to tell me that I shouldn't write. Whew. Man, you think that you're cool with things, there's this thing that we can do with our minds where we convince ourselves that we're cool with things. We're cool with feedback, we're cool with help, we're cool with whatever it is, we're cool with the emotion, until we have to face it head on. Everything's easy in theory. Everything is easy in theory, or at least easier in theory than it is in reality. And that is the case with just emotional, motivational mindset. And these fears have been making me put off writing because I know that it's not good enough, and I keep reading it and realizing it's not good enough, and realizing where I made mistakes and where I need to fix these mistakes, and really getting into my own head. But the thing is, I'm being so incredibly hard on myself. I have written 40,000 words of a story, and if I include what I wrote earlier this year, I've written probably over 100,000 words this year alone, both in short stories and this novel, and another novel that I kind of started working on and it kind of fell off because I opened it up to feedback too soon, and then I got emotional because I was like, I don't know how I can handle all this feedback. I wish that I was better at handling the feedback, because the feedback is so helpful. If I don't get the feedback, I can't know these things, but also to know these things is painful. It hurts when people give their true opinions. And it's hard sometimes to navigate opinions because opinions are based in bias. You guys are going to see another video that I post this week is about what I look for in a movie. And one of the main factors is bias. And even bias is affecting how much these different parts of the movie matter to me and what I actually care about. It's the same with BookTube. Everyone has their own opinions about what they think is good and what they don't think is good. And we don't all agree. later on this year, or maybe at the beginning of the year after the year is finished, I am going to rank all of the books that Daniel Green has recommended and I have read, because I've read at least 10 of them. And so I want to be able to share my feedback, and my ranking for these books is definitely going to be different than his ranking for these books, because we care about different things in our stories. And it's the same thing when people give you feedback, and yet, because you want your story to be, or at least because I want my story to be successful and I want to have a good story, it really hurts when people tell you that your story's not good. And they could even just be saying like, oh, I think that it could be better if you did this, or maybe I don't understand this. It affects you, right? Because what if you can't do what they like? And then you have to wonder, do I even want to do what they like? Is what they're saying even something that I want to emulate? Or can I meet them halfway? How do I meet them halfway? How do I know if I've met them halfway unless I give them back this so that they can read it and then they can give me more feedback? And what if I made no progress when they gave me feedback? What's going to happen then? And then like the mind spirals out of control. And so one of the things that I'd like to share with you guys, in case you haven't noticed this about me, I'm a little avoidant of negative emotions and problems. I don't like to deal with them, so I put them off. And so one of the ways that I put off negativity, both with myself and with others, is through escaping. I'll read, I'll watch TV, I'll play video games. These escapisms allow me to not think about these things that I just told you, but they also get in the way of me making progress. I took a full week off work so that I could work on my novel. And there were days when I had the full day to write, and I wrote like 1,000 words. Didn't even write a reasonable amount. I could have won NaNoWriMo in that week had I actually just written 2,000 words a day. That's all I needed was like 2,000 or 2,500 words a day, and I would have finished NaNoWriMo in that week, and everything that I wrote in the next week would have been additional. But I didn't, because I was escaping to video games, to TV shows, to books. But I think what I did instead of writing was a lot of emotional work, which clearly still I'm processing because I am hyper emotional while I'm talking to you guys. And I know that I'm laughing, but I'm laughing to keep from crying because that's how I am. I am avoidant of negative emotions, including crying, and I don't want to cry for anyone, but I am emotional. I'm an emotional person, in case you couldn't tell. During that week when I wasn't writing and I was just watching TV, reading books, playing video games instead of writing, I also did some emotional work to try to work on myself, because I'm also an ENFP, for those of you who don't know, which really weird if you're watching this and you don't know, but if you're new here and you just watch this because of NaNoWriMo, I'm an ENFP, which in MBTI means that I'm crazy and I have a lot of things that I like to do. And I have like 10,000 hobbies and I want to pursue them all. And I get really ambitious about things and I think, oh, I can take it all on. I'm like amazing. I'm going to do it all. And then I don't. I do subpar, and then I get mad at myself because I sign myself up for all these things that I knew I could handle, and yet I chose not to handle them because I would just avoid, and I would play video games and watch TV shows and read books instead of actually doing the things that I wanted to do, because I had more than I could chew. And that was a hard thing for me to come to terms with. But that week helped me come to terms with the fact that I took on way more than I could handle. To summarize what I did to myself the month of November is I decided I'm going to write 50,000 words. I decided I'm going to be a municipal liaison for NaNoWriMo, which meant that it would be my job to help encourage other people to write, which I utterly failed at. And then I also have a new position at my work where I'm an operations manager, which means I work like 50-hour weeks minimum, and life is crazy and work is crazy. And I don't even know how I got a week off work, but somehow I managed it. And yeah. And then I'm trying to do the YouTube thing, and watching my channel just like continue to stagnate is very frustrating, because obviously I want to not work at a corporation for the rest of my life. I want to help people and I want to do good things for the world. And I don't think I can do that from a corporation as it stands. I don't think I can do that from my work. I feel like I'll do that through my YouTube and through my writing and through my artwork. But when I'm split too many ways, I can't do anything effectively. I can't do my work effectively, I can't do my YouTube effectively, and I can't do my writing effectively. And that is what I learned this year during NaNoWriMo. And I appreciate you guys sitting through me being hyper emotional, because this is, I am being more emotional than I think I've ever been on my channel. But I want to share with you guys how I am actually feeling, so that hopefully you'll also be able to take and learn from my experiences. Am I going to tell you what to take or what to learn from my experience? I don't know. I don't know what you need to learn. I don't know what you need to take away. But I hope that through sharing this and sharing how I felt about NaNoWriMo this year, that you can take from it what you will and become a better person because of what you've heard. I want everyone to be better. I really want everyone to have the best chance at life as they possibly can. And I feel like if I'm being emotionally vulnerable and sharing with you guys how I feel, that you might feel more comfortable exploring and feeling and develop yourself to be better by hearing what I've talked about, even though I don't know if I'm better. I don't know if I'm better because I've made this decision, but I have made a realization. And I think sometimes the only way to make progress is to make realizations so that you're aware of what the problem is so you can deal with it. So I'm going to be trying to deal with that problem. I ultimately want to grow this channel. I want to have it be a hybrid between MBTI and writing, reading. I want it to be my hobbies. I want to express my hobbies. I even want to do like drawing videos eventually. I want to do it all because I want to express myself and share myself with you guys. And in so doing, hopefully create a career for myself. So if you guys want to support me, that's cool. Like and subscribe would be probably one of the best ways that you can help me out. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching and sitting through this emotional wreck of a video. And I hope that you have a beautiful, amazing, fantastic day. Bye.